Okay, we're gonna start the interview off for Marketing 317B. I'm here with my good friend Lucas, and so we're gonna start off with the first question. So, what made you interested in fashion?
It's like I think it's the coolest way to kind of like express yourself without saying anything. You know what I mean? So like, people can make assumptions on your personality, or like you can make statements of who you are through like what you're wearing. So that's what kind of made me like interested in like going into fashion, or just like interested in like looking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like wearing things that I can identify with and like express myself with, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Right. So then, how did you first get involved with clothing design?
So I was really into graphic design at the time. Like I wanted to make like just cool graphics. Like I wanted to make people like album covers and stuff like that. And I just kind of wanted to learn how to make like be good at Photoshop. And then after a while, I always kind of had the idea I wanted to make a clothing brand, and I was just like, I know a lot about like just like low key brands, high key brands, like luxury, not luxury, streetwear, stuff like that. And I didn't really find something that like I could identify with like 100%. So I kind of just wanted to make clothes for myself, and then I was like, if I like these clothes and I'm making them for myself, why don't I share them and, you know, kind of like start some sort of community where people can like, people who like the same type of clothing can like, you know, wear it, and I don't know, it's cool to like make something for yourself, but also like give an opportunity or an option for somebody else to also wear it.
Right.
And like, yeah.
All right. So, how was Season International started, and what are the goals and missions of the brand?
Season International started by me quitting my job, and literally just like this is the only time, like I was in college, I was working like 6 days a week, and it was like taking a toll on me academically and like just mentally. So I just quit my job one day, and I was like, this is the only time I could really start my own business where I have the time to kind of just like risk it. So I made a design, like a really, really quick draft of a design, and then I was like, you know what, I like this. I didn't even like think twice about it. I just bought like 50 patches for it, and then started to sell it within like 2 weeks. And then after that, I kind of just never looked back. So
Wow.
yeah.
So, I mean, what would you say Season International is entailed of? Like, what are the things that go into you guys creating different products?
I'm big right now, so like right now I want context to my pieces. So I don't want to just make a hoodie to sell it. I don't want to just make a hoodie to brand it. Like I tell a lot of people like my pieces are like poems, kind of like, where like if I'm feeling some sort of way, kind of the same thing we were talking before about like when you like write or when you run to like let weight off your chest. For me, I started to do that with design. So like a lot of the experiences that I go through, I try to recreate it into like a graphic design, and then I try to like put text around it that like other people can relate to like the similar experiences. And like I kind of just want to grow a community of people who look at my pieces and they can connect to it like personally. And yeah, I kind of just think it's cool that like people can buy your clothes, and like they could be at a place where you've never been before, and it's kind of just like you're there but you're not there type of thing. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So then, what does being involved with this lifestyle mean to you?
What does it mean to me? That's a good one. Well, the lifestyle like I carry, like what it means to like own a brand or just be inside, is just like to appreciate something that can be easily overlooked, I think. Because like clothing, it's not just about like your outfit. Like clothing could say a lot more to a person than just like they have money to buy this, or like they want to look good, or they want this aesthetic. So can you repeat the question one more time?
Sure. So it says, what does being involved in this lifestyle mean to you?
It means I gotta take a moment.
That's all good.
What does this lifestyle mean to me? Well, it's kind of like my everything, right? Because like this is what I want to be the most successful in my life is like fashion, clothing, my brand. But it's just like fashion's very fast, so it means like you really need to understand what's genuine in fashion, what's ingenuine. Yeah, I don't know what it means to me though. I don't know how to answer that one.
So when people wear certain brands, right? Like it doesn't matter. We could say Burberry, for example.
Mhm.
What would you say? Why do people wear those things? Like, what are some reasons?
I see. So like some people wear it to definitely like fit in or like to be accepted or to like give off an impression of like where they're at in life through their clothes.
Right, like a status symbol.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people do it for status. I think also a lot of people do it because they're interested in the context and the culture of that brand and that piece. So like I've purchased a lot of things just because like the design was strong. I could like identify myself with whatever's going on within like that piece, and I think a lot of people like a lot of the enthusiasts really are into it because they understand like the whole backstory behind the actual designer, the brand, the piece, and like that's what it means a lot more to them than it does to like somebody who does it for brand face value. So there's like two sides to it. There's people who appreciate the art of clothing, and then there's another side where the people really just appreciate the impression that their clothes or their outfit gives off to other people. You know what I mean? So like there's like expression and emotional attachment, and then there's like I don't know how to categorize that, like status symbol.
Right, so it's like surface level and then deeper level.
Yeah.
So with deeper level, how do you think people connect with emotions in terms of like when buying a certain type of fashion product, whether it's a scarf or if it's a hoodie or something with meaning to it? Where do you think a meaning comes through that?
Like to reference to my own thing, one of my latest hoodies, it's like I don't know if you've seen it. It says "You're no angel." And
Yeah,
that's
I've
the
seen that.
same
Yeah.
what I want. So like that came from an experience where like you're into somebody that you know you shouldn't be into, and you get kind of have to be saved from what you want because you know at the end like you're no angel, like you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
that's experiences that I think a lot of people face where like they can't really control their emotions at like a specific period of time. So like, but like it's also so vague that like it could hit you. You know what I mean? Like I've had like when I wear it, I have a lot of people like, damn, you're no angel. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? And like that's just the type of like reaction that you want. Like when somebody has like a reaction to like a piece of clothing, it's because it hit them somewhere like it should have. You know what I mean? Like it hit more than like you just slapping a brand logo on it and saying like, hey, this is a nice piece. Like there's more, like you have to really think about it. So I think like people connect with clothing like on the deeper level, not the surface level, when like it really like brings them back to an experience in their life where like they could relate this to something they saw or experienced earlier on. So it's basically when they identify themselves within a piece, which is like not a lot of people do. A lot of people don't really think that much about clothing.
Right. Yeah. So I think you kind of answered this a little bit, but we can talk about it more. Are there different levels or types of members within high-end fashion?
Within high-end fashion?
Or fashion in general?
Yeah, definitely. There's like different levels. To speak through luxury though, there's like street luxury, which is like handmade items that are made specifically for like streetwear people, but it's priced at a luxury selling price just because like of the context of the piece and like of the actual like construction of it. It is a luxury item, but it's not made in a fashion house. It's really just started by like me or Steven, like something like that. Like that's street luxury. And then there's like retailers, like boutiques that carry different brands. Like there's like levels. There's like online platforms for street luxury, and then there's like retailers for like luxury that is kind of priced marked down, and then there's extreme luxury, which is like the things that we could buy a car with, but instead we buy like that jacket. But like in each category there's like scale. So like in the first level there's probably going to be a lot more. The first level is where like there's either it's very exclusive, and it's marked down because it's like street luxury. It's not really in retailers or made in a fashion house, or it's super scalable and there's a lot of it because it doesn't cost as much to make as the higher end things. So like as you keep going up, like the scale or like the number of units get decreased and it just becomes more and more exclusive. And I think that's what makes it more luxurious, is the fact that it's made super professionally and like everything has a purpose to it, and there's not a lot of it. So like both those things drive the price to be super high. And it's only like relevant for a few months, which makes it, you know, like during those months a lot of people are going to spend top dollar for it, even though like if they waited a few months
So what are your thoughts on just like reselling in terms of like streetwear, or just like how, you know, how you're just talking about how like things move quickly in fashion and how, you know, people buy these things quickly, either if it's just for, you know, face value or just, you know, for any reason in general?
I think reselling has transformed the industry into like how people view products. So I think products now are like assets because they can depreciate over time, and it's like volatile. Like I could buy a jacket. I remember I bought a jacket from Supreme. It was $500. The next week it was $600, and then I sold it. But if I kept it for like a year or two, I could sell it now for like over $1,000 if I wanted to. You know what I mean? But like you never know. It's just like now people look at like reselling is now like the new market because things have become so exclusive, where people in the past only had one opportunity to buy it, and people who bought it in the past just wanted it because they were into it. But now reselling has created like kind of a black market where like this is the most attainable market that you could buy all this exclusive stuff. But now that everybody's aware of and like enabled to buy it, now the prices are just gonna skyrocket because of the scale or the units. So reselling, I think it made and broke why people appreciate streetwear, because like now people appreciate the fact that their pieces or like just a piece could skyrocket, even though it has no business being that like price. But also like it made it more attainable for everybody to buy like exclusive stuff. So there's like it's like 50-50. Like it's horrible that like somebody only looks at a product so that they could make more money off of it, but also because they can make more money off of it, and because there's a platform for it now more people can buy what they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That makes sense?
Yeah, definitely. So what social media sites are big for people involved with this lifestyle? Where would you say people find out about, you know, brands in general? Would you say like Instagram or?
It's all Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like like every like now when brands make like a new product that they want to tease to people, the first place you can see it is Instagram. Like they're not going to pay for advertising for it. Like Instagram made it so like everybody who's interested in you can subscribe to you, and you don't need to pay to get more eyes if you're already established. You know what I mean? So now like brands just like they can make a one-of sample, throw it on Instagram, and now they have instant feedback on whether people want it or not. And like a lot of brands do that now, and like that's where a lot of people find out about who has the best outfits, who makes the best clothes. Like it's just created a sort of world where like everybody is getting updated daily on the new pieces, on what the designer's doing and stuff like that. And yeah, I think it's all Instagram, to be honest. I don't think there's any other social media that puts fashion like that, elevates fashion like that, rather than Instagram.
Cool. So to wrap it up, basically, how do people from this lifestyle connect with each other? So we talked about that a little bit, but where do you think that connection comes from when people, you know, let's say look at a certain piece or a certain type of product and they're like, you know, this has meaning to me or some sort of value?
But like, how do they connect? Like, two individuals connect? Or
Yeah,
like
individuals within the lifestyle.
Do you want me to speak on like mentally or like physically too? I'll speak on both. Like, you get to meet a lot of people because there's a lot of like RSVP events thrown, and like that's like the next level of actually being inside like like committing yourself to the industry is that like a lot of people throw pop-ups, a lot of people throw like kind of like parties, but
Yeah.
like with product there. And like it's always like kind of an exclusive. It's not like exclusive per se, but like you have to kind of know a few people to like understand how to RSVP, and then when you go there, everybody at that party it does something within fashion, so then you could just meet a lot of people. So like you have to really like flex your connections kind of to like connect with people of value. I think in New York they do it a lot. In Boston it's not as crazy, but there are a lot of like events like that. So like there's just like events like if I like for my brand, if I'm throwing a pop-up / nightlife party, I'd have like pieces where people can buy stuff, but also have a DJ there with drinks or whatever, and then people, it's kind of like an experiential event, you know what I mean? It's like a temporary space. A lot of people show up that do things, so that's how you connect with people. I think surface level wise, a lot of people connect just because like if I know a brand that isn't like big, or even if it is like super big, and then I see another kid with it on, like I automatically know that that kid's somewhat into the same things I am in, therefore it can spawn a conversation much easier than anybody else. And I think the more the more specific that gets, like if like I'm in like the other side of the world and I see somebody with Season or something like that, like pretend like I don't even know Season, but I just know of the brand and I know it's a small brand, I'm obviously going to like be inclined to talk to that person because they obviously know a lot of stuff that I know, you know what I mean? So I just think like it forms a little like community of people who just like know, are aware of the same things, but it's still like a niche because not a lot of people know about it. So I think that fashion creates like these small little sectors of people who want the same aesthetic or want the same vibe to themselves. That was a horrible word to use. Like,
yeah, I understand. So, and then I guess, yeah, we missed one question, but it was, how do you see yourself in the future within this lifestyle? Where do you think you'll go with Season, and just how you'll dress in the future?
I want Season, how like future, like long term?
Yeah. It could be immediate or it could be super long from now.
Well, short term, I want to get into more publications. I recently got contacted by, this is a flex, but I recently got contacted by GQ. I just
really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And Steven too. So I'm gonna be on their print publication. This would be like my first actual publication. I'm gonna be on their print magazine on February or March. It's gonna be their March issue, but I think it comes out in February. So short term, I just want more like established publications hosting about my brand, just so it could give like credit to my brand, like people could go on my site and actually trust my brand, because I feel like that's a lot of what scares people away from buying like from new brands, is the fact that they don't know if they can trust the quality. And like that kind of just like get like people trust you more obviously when other established publications are posting about you. But long term, I want exclusive like brick and mortars, like one in Boston, one in New York, one in LA, one in Japan, like just like a few brick and mortars. I want to be in retailers. Yeah, I really just want to like take my product and scale it, but like not that it's like super attainable, but like to a point where I can become like kind of like a luxury fashion house and have like shows and fashion shows and stuff like that. But I still want it to be experiential, where like in my brick and mortar, like it's multifunctional, where you can like buy clothes and get a haircut or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So you want to create like a unique like experience?
Yeah, like I kind of just want to create like my own world and like have a community. Like the biggest thing about Season is that I can grow a community of people where like they're always interested in what I'm making, and like through what I'm making and the context of what I'm making, because I also share my mood boards. It like just creates this community of people where they accept or embrace the aesthetic that I'm kind of giving them and the context to it, and like it just creates this niche of people who like live in the same world that I kind of creative.
That's cool. I think that's a good way to end it off. So, thank you so much again.